Hey everybody, welcome to TPIMSR Live. I'm your host, TruePowerIsMine, and today's date is June 7th, 2019, the year of our Lord. Today is going to be an uplifting day for us all. Great things are happening. I haven't gotten that confirmation back yet if Mark's going to be on the Carl Nelson show. I've heard it through Grapevine, but I haven't heard it from him today. So definitely check that out. But today I want to start off the show with a song from Brother Air. Yeah, I'm going to feature music with soul and heart, music that uplifts people. So let's do this.
I know I ain't nobody. Teeth, but I built this country. Iron worker, and I ran through this turf. Pyramid. Somebody gotta talk to our brothers. After all we've been through, my brothers, no more real love between my brothers. Learn masculinity from my mothers. So like Cain and Abel, we just brothers. Is it passion or emotion, my brothers? It's those who have father soul smothered. No tough love, how you make it through the struggle? While we line jockeys to the jungle, my brothers. How long does it take to freeze a culture climb? Dark hearts full of ice, chasing shine blinded. Raw nights, beam searchlights, night finding. High gloss on the memories rewinding. So we lost so dark, guess he goes riding. Front of class, law professor, second glasses smiling. Got the essence for your thesis, living misguided. Ethics learned on the deck, wire twist timing. Don't we all got war wounds uncovered? Tendencies for victories, never tell mother. Loose strings turning diamond cut from butter. Strong ties from my homeland, pride smothered. Bunch of tribes on the hunt, eating one another. Didn't trappers lead us to those ships coming? Today see generations while lips mumbling. Vultures feast off the culture as it keep crumbling. Sing the clan job getting done. A1 we fell by suicide, reborn at square one. Lifestyle like women, tight clothes and hair long. Old wives' tales, but the thoughts is built from hand on the job site, smelling like Similac. Got like a heat, feminine dogs walking back. Blood, sweat, and tears, DNA, and working men backs. Wives see me in the kitchen, wrist be snapping back. So after all we've been through, my brothers, no more real love between my brothers. Learn masculinity from our mothers. So like Cain and Abel, we just brothers. Is it passion or emotion, my brothers? Is those who had a father soul smothered? No tough love, how we make it through the struggle? While we long jockeys to the jungle, my brothers. After all we've been through, my brothers. No more real love between all my brothers. Learn masculinity from my single mothers. So like Cain and Abel, we just brothers. Is it passion or emotion, my brother? Is those who got a father soul smothered? No tough love, how you make it through the struggle? While we line jockeys to the jungle, my brothers. It's not about the history if we create misery. I got a lot of issues, but there's reasons why our chemistry corrupted and contagious. In this music business, save us overseas. Bad behavior make us seem like traitors, still calling while the right wing use the old left scheme. Strength in the middle from resisting both guest strings. Tricked by the treat, set us up for arresting. Which I say real, that's quite interesting. Crime on the skills you made for clandestine. Glossy and glittery, surrounded by pretty things. Lose it all tonight, then you're checking in a middle wing. Name on the wall, last rights, can't take anything. So after all we've been through, my brothers, no more real love between my brothers. No masculinity from our mothers. So like Cain and Abel, we just brothers. Is it passion or emotion, my brothers? Is those who had a father soul smothered? No tough love, how you make it through the struggle? While we line jockeys to the jungle, my brothers. After all we've been through, my brothers. No more real love between my brothers. Learn masculinity from our mothers. So like Cain and Abel, we just brothers. Is it passion or emotion, my brothers? Is those who had a father soul smothered? No tough love, how you make it through the struggle? While we line jockeys to the jungle, my brothers. Just think about it. When you see teeth come through, 2 finger peeps. That's all. You know what I mean? No drama. Just ride now. Pass it through. God spread love, peace, unity, culture. You already know. Redemption.
All right, that was from Brother Air T. Check him out. The topic for today, I just want to start off the show with some unity song. The topic of the day is the topic that we have every day, brother murders. The war on humanity. Tariffs already wipes out savings for average Americans. Right off the bat. You keep on thinking I'm joking about this economic collapse, y'all. It's almost a pre-gone conclusion at this point. Space stations opens for tourisms. Let's see how that goes. Okay. There was right here. This story. CNN, Don Lemon speaks out about harassment. You know, I'm smelling another Jesse Smollett type smell. You know, I mean, I'm sorry, yo. We keep on getting these, as they say, moist, soft brothers up here. Oh, I'm being harassed. I'm being hurt. Smell wet. You know, listen. These people, all right, people like Don Lemons, the Daniels guy, Smollett, the cat that was on the Oscar walkway with the dress. Don't forget, for many people, they are considered successful black men, meaning that one of the avenues to success for a black man is basically being a fag, being gay. I know I probably just got demonetized. All right. I'm going to show you guys the numbers as well. It's pretty laughable. Once again, y'all, we have to understand that the power of the system is one that is all encompassing, meaning even when you think you're going against the system, you're in essence doing exactly what the system wants you to do. Now, hopefully, hold on 1 second. Let me get this. Oh, no. Really? Is this going to be a bounce back and forth deal? Okay. Now, not, the hunter killing the giraffe is what it is. But there was another story. Here it is. Cultural wars. Spike Lee calls for Hollywood to shut it down in Georgia. Do you guys not see the irony of this all? Shut it down in Georgia. Okay, let's think about that. All these men and women getting killed all over the damn country. A lot of it directly because of Hollywood's glamorization of gangdom and gang mentality. But yet we're going to say shut it down over Georgia wanting to save lives at the end of the day. That's where we're at. Forget the people getting popped right and left. Forget them. Keep on glorifying that. Hell, his next movie will probably be based upon a riot or something. But when Georgia decides to take an act to preserve the biomass in that state so that the state can continue, we need to shut that down. But keep on all the pimps and whores and homosexuals and transgenders and everything else. The freak show has to keep that all cracking. But heaven forbid, the preserving of life, shut that shit down. So I just want to show you guys another little story that I picked up here. Here's a man right here. Hopefully you can see him. He's a nurse in Germany. As of today, he has killed 85 patients. So really, he's just a practitioner of retro abortions. Nothing wrong with what he's doing. Hell, let's make a little Lifetime movie about how he saved the people from the suffering and misery of their lives. Do you not see the culture of death that's been woven around us all? Everything. It's about death. Really? You don't think so? Check this out. U.S. warships nearly collide. The only thing that makes those ships fucking special is the fact that they are murdering machines. The only thing that makes our power, our world so-called goes around is because we can take human beings and like old girl pop this giraffe, we can pop a human being. And check this out. You see the dog, the mechanical dog here? Strap a gun on it, put it on a ship, let it get on the land after the ship docks and starts tearing people up. This is what we are. This is where we're at. Brother murdered. They, the powers on earth, let him kill 87 patients, then crucified him for it. Yes, I already told you, use the squeeze, use drive, then murder. Even though, hey, Brother Air, welcome to the show. Hey, if you check out this video in the beginning, I led off with one of your videos. The videos of brothers. Hold on. Which one was it? Yeah, my brother. We did that video. And that's some good music. Now, let's jump back here to the real tragedy. Brother Leonard, welcome to the show. The real tragedy is Alec Baldwin, no more Trump. No more Trump skits on SNL. I mean, that's probably the only thing that's been keeping that raggedy show afloat. This is something I want to share with you that Mark has shared with everybody. Russia has basically invested in the division of this country. A lot of your militant leaders, your counterculture leaders, your revolutionary leaders, all trace back to them. Now, when the media comes out with this new perspective about Russian subverting and enriching and emboldening, let's just say, disenfranchised groups' leaders, the hammer's going to come down. They don't play. Look, when they would play games with trying to impeach the president about perhaps colluding with Russia, and you saw what they did, and the evidence wasn't even there. Just think if the evidence is actually there. These brothers and sisters are indeed colluding with Russia to subvert the youth of this nation, to bring forth more division, so that when we are finally attacked, then, yeah, there won't be no basically coming back. Also, illegals to have 300,000 babies this year. So while you're busy, your sons and daughters are busy worrying about how they can afford this abortion before the clinic gets torn down, I want you to think of those 300,000 babies that will be raised by parents that actually love them. You can say what you will about illegals, but at least they're human beings that love their children and desire the best for their children, so far as to even leave their homeland and go to a racist, hate-filled nation such as this to try to make it. But at least they love their babies enough. And how do you think those babies are going to vote? Don't forget, an aborted baby cannot vote. I don't care how pious or how nice or how cool the parents are. And just to put the final nail in this particular coffin, Putin to America. Economic egoism, recipe for war. They're all but telling you, yeah. They're all but this, I mean, when do we really have to get the fact that we're in basically a war right now? When you see the first American city vaporized and you'll finally get it, holy shit, True was right. We really are in a state of fucking war. Is that when you're going to get it? Hopefully it's not the city you're occupying. occupy that. Listen, there's over I think 5 to 700 nuclear powered submarines, not just powered, but nuclear capable submarines in all the navies of the world. And I think we have like something like 260, something like that. The thing is, just those forces alone, I mean, it pops up 200 miles off the coast, launches that missile, ducks back down in the water. It's over, man. It is over. There. Don't forget, the United States government doesn't love our cities enough to have Patriot batteries around them. Now we love Israel. We'll have Patriots all over there. Patriot systems all over Japan, Korea, probably some in Afghanistan and Iraq, but very few here on our homeland. The ones we do are only around certain military installations. So what am I saying? I'm saying if you're thinking that the government's back in the 50s going to provide you with a bomb shelter and a gas mask and maybe a ration or two, you're sadly mistaken. Now they have a lot of shelters and rations for the duly elected, the chosen. But the rest of you, the little people, the only thing you're going to get is probably radiation sickness and a horrible death after that. So, like I said, it's going to be a celebration. There's going to be a lot of excitement, a lot of new opportunities, especially in the mortuary industry. And for the most part, people are just going to be out to lunch. Straight up out to lunch. You're wondering why scientists seek out limits to human endurance. A man arrested, accused of Times Square hand grenade plot. Oh, and isn't this one right here just so telling? STD infection spreads to 1 million daily. 1 million people are getting diseased daily. Oh, yes, these are absolutely scare tactic headlines. Absolutely. But these are the headlines that many of your fellow citizens, many of the fellow allied countries are reading at this very moment. And a lot of these articles are so true. American rural stations vanishing. And as they vanish, a certain part of Americana vanishes with it. The local radio station here in my town got the axe years ago. But that's not the point. The point is, we have been slated for deletion. You can keep trying to say, no, that's not true, blah, blah, blah. No, that is true. Navy Admiral investigate for free hugs and Twister games. Air Force allows chic airmen to wear turbans and beards. What's up, Big Pumper? It don't get no better than this. Instrumental brother, what's up? Welcome to the show, y'all. Welcome to the show. It doesn't get any better than this. And you sit here thinking that we have the fortitude to go the long haul? You want to play a game of Twister? I mean, I wanted... I shouldn't even say this, but you know what? I don't give a fuck. This thing's demonetized anyhow. I wonder if the Air Force allowed lesbian pilots to wear a strap-on dildo in their flight suit. Or do they allow a male transgender to, fly around with his fucking getup on? What happens to paying attention to details? You have to conform to the military. The military doesn't necessarily conform to you. It seems like once we blocked the racial barriers of black and white, then all suddenly the freak show's allowed to come in. Fuck keeping normal shit around, but everyone's just treating people equal in the normal situation. No, it can't be normal no more, man and woman. No, it has to be man and dog, man and frog, man and man, woman and woman, man and man who used to be a woman or presently going through hormones, all this twisted shit. You know the reason why? Just like as I told you, to kill a group of people, you have to destroy their image within a nation. But to merely kill a nation, Sister Gloria, welcome to the show. All you have to do is debase it. Debase it, yeah? And that's where we're going. Look, I had a conversation with a gentleman today, right before the show, actually. He called me back. Very short. Man's a very busy man, very well respected and powerful man. He will be coming on the show. I've just had to schedule out the time for that. But the point is, hey, hold on one second. I want to see something. Carl Nelson's show. I just got a email or a side note. I got notifications turned down now. It's at 4 p.m. Well, that'd be like 2 p.m. my time if it's Eastern time. I wish I knew what time zone that's in. If there's people watching from Carl's show, you need to put whether it's going to be what day. Hold on. Carl Nelson show. And then I'll get back to what I was talking about. I don't know if it's going to be. Okay, I don't have a clue. I don't know what time. It's on East Coast. Okay, so that means because if Mark's on, I definitely want to record it. You know what I'm saying? For those who can't, find the show or whatever, I try to do that as a personal courtesy to both him and Carl. And I always cite that it's Carl Nelson's show, not my show, and give all the credit to Carl. And hopefully more you younger folks out there will be interested in his show. Okay. When is Dr. Randy Short scheduled to reappear on your show again, brother? Well, what about now? Would you like him now? Let me call him up and see if he has a moment to share a couple of things. And now it actually makes sense why Mark, because he was saving himself for Carl's show. Carl's a big show. But after this show, I'll reach out to him and see if he can humble us with his show, with coming on our show. Okay, here's Dr. Short. Hold on, I got to put on the headphones. Because just in case he's busy or something, I don't want to just bring him on just out the blue. And then I won't even put him in the link. Oh, I forgot to show you guys this. Let me hold on before I call him. Before I call Dr. Short. What's up, brother Nick? Welcome to the show. I want to show you guys what's going down here. What's going down with the channel. This is it's important to me, but it should be important to us all. And then I'll call Dr. Short up. And we won't take calls this time. No calls, please. All right, hold on. This right here, I gotta go to the old deal here. Hold on. Submit. All right. There. Check this out. Let's go to videos. And this is really quite tragic. Let's go over here. Oh, no, you won't be able to see it. I think you'll be able to see that. All right, look. Last show I just put up. It's just an article from Mark from Anaheim. Not suitable. Demonetize. 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 Now this is monetized. This is monetized. And that's monetized. But then we're demonetized. And it's all the big numbers, 1,000, 900, 800, or 180. This is what has happened. YouTube censorship has all but let's just take count. I was do the first top 10 or 10 videos lately. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2. So it's almost like half. Half is monetized and half is not. But it's the bad half. All right, so that's what's going. Yes, Brother Christopher, good morning. All right, now let me call up Dr. Short, get him on the horn, and let's talk about some things today. Let me get hold on. I want to get a Dr. Short on right now. Good morning, Dr. Short. You there? Hello? Can you hear me? Yes, you can hear me. Hey, I got you on headphones. So no one can hear you right now. I'm actually doing a live show, and a number of the people asked me to see when you was going to come back on again. And I just said, hey, I'll just call him up right now. And if he can come on, he can come on. And if he can't, he can't. So can you come on and talk to us for, say, 15, 20 minutes? I got you. Well, we're just having a discussion about all the things that have been going on today, as far as pertaining to the news, like the German nurse that murdered 87 patients over there in Germany, and now it's linked. No, I did not hear about that. Hold on, can you just share that with us real quick? I'll just bring you on. Just
She got convicted, but I haven't really followed a lot of this crime stuff that heavily. No disrespect, just sometimes we don't pay attention to it. But I saw that it happened. These things happen all the time. A few within the last year or two, there was a woman somewhere here in the United States that was in a senior center, an old white woman who was making cyanide with ricin in her assisted living apartment, and she was testing her poison out on her fellow seniors.
oh no,
They didn't even put her in jail. Now, had that been a black person, had they accidentally done it, they would have been charged in some way. This one was making poison to hurt her own, and they didn't convict her. They just she's old. So you see this white privilege stuff play out all the time. All the time we see this. I think we're aware of this.
Well, but see, I brought up another thing right before that story with Spike Lee in the so-called culture war, calling for Hollywood to shut down Georgia. All right, but then what about all these films that glamorize gangdom and homosexuality? Let's not shut down that. But when the state tries to protect the young, now we.
I can't hear you. But you said Spike Lee is upset about something in Georgia?
Yeah, about the abortion law. He wants the Hollywood to shut it down.
Well, Spike Lee is about Spike Lee, although he does do good things sometimes. I mean, why are people so concerned about abortion, honestly?
I think it's not so much people are concerned. It's almost like the line in the sand. Like, we're not going to protect the humans that aren't even born. Then what are we talking about trying to right the wrongs of the humans that are here now?
Well, you need to understand something. Spike Lee, didn't he get an Oscar? He got an Oscar recently. He's finally been allowed to get the acceptance that he's wanted from from Hollywood. Remember, he got oxed after all these years. Spike Lee was out in 1985 and 1919. I'm sorry, in 2019. I'm watching something on the Klan. In 2019, he finally gets recognized. We have to realize that Spike Lee's been out here a long time trying to get I think he's significant cultural icon. He's made some very good stuff, but our entertainers, if you're counting on your money coming from other people to take care of you in America, then your values will necessarily lead you to make decisions that are not favorable towards the black majority, which is seen as a commodity, it's seen as an article of trade. So I'm not surprised. But Spike Lee, if you recall, that movie, Chirac, Spike Lee basically angered the black folks in Chicago. So that's something a lot of people don't know, that people in Chicago were out fighting Spike Lee. And he went to Father Flager, who has been outspoken for black folks, but there are issues there. There are issues. I'm not a Chicagoan, but I know you can get people from Chicago that are activists, and that there's some interesting things that they would know about Father Flager.
I got a couple from the chat room.
Let me tell you what I'm more concerned about than the abortion. You've got all these people with HIV/AIDS in Atlanta and other venereal diseases. That's going to be a major die-off. How come no one's saying anything about that? Let's say that you don't care about the unborn. Let's say that you are a super liberal type and you're concerned about LGBTQ and you're concerned about the liberal agenda. Well, shouldn't you care about your gay foot soldiers and your bisexual foot soldiers that are contracting these horrific STDs that can kill people? Don't you think that they should care about that? Am I thinking too much? To suggest that could be, that maybe you could care about them.
They don't care because they don't even care enough to have proper sex to even try to have a real baby. That right there shows you how selfish they are.
But look at it. You don't care about the babies being killed. You want the babies killed, and for your sexuality allies, you leave them to die.
Culture of death.
I just want folks to hear that you and I don't want people to die.
No, I want people to
and
live.
Yet every time you see these people, they're running around screaming about abortion like it's some big, great, wonderful thing. And that it's just wonderful and everybody likes it and everyone should support it. I don't. Abortion's horrible.
Yes. It's horrible. It's culture of death. That's all it brings is pain and misery. It doesn't free anybody. My bad. It frees the man and woman to go out and procreate or fornificate again. That's what it frees.
No, it doesn't. It does free somebody. It frees the eugenicists. It frees the people who sell baby parts. It frees the people that sell saline salt. Charge you $1,000 or $2,000 for a penny's worth of salt to kill your baby, or a penny's worth of electricity to suck the baby out with a vacuum cleaner. I mean, that's freeing someone financially. It frees the biomed people to make stem cell stuff. A lot of folk getting free.
Oh, doctor, I hear you. When you put things in that type of realistic perspective, that's we got some static on the line. I don't know what's going on over there. That shouldn't be something that's quite tragic. He just broke it down, y'all. There's money being made in this death, like all death. There's always money to be made. The mortuary man, to the man in the ambulance. Everybody's getting paid.
The hazmat man, the counseling man, the person that's selling the antidepressants after the women are post-abortive and they killed their babies and they have regrets. The person that's going to sell you the birth control pills. And the person that's selling condoms. This is big money. It's big, big money. And you know what? The divorce man, the lawyer, when the woman kills the baby, and then she and her husband fall out or whatever, so someone gets to sell a new apartment or a new house. That means if they had one car in the family, they need two because they're not riding together. Divorce and all this confusion makes money for somebody.
Doctor. That's a horrible diagnosis.
And if you know, and while your woman's evil and she's not trying to be with you because she's upset about the baby, then someone's going to sell Viagra. Someone's going to run the strip club. Someone's going to be the pimp. Someone's going to be the madam. Someone's going to be the call girl. Some folks now have the hookup apps where you can screw and have an affair. You know who the person is, so you can meet them in the Dominican Republic and screw and Punta Cana, so the travel agent gets money. There's lots of cash. Shoot, if I didn't believe in God, it's a whole lot of money. There's a very good woman, I don't remember her name, but she talks about how Planned Parenthood sold abortions and how she wanted to make her bonus and how they would lie and pretend to be counselors. And you tell these women, oh, well, no, in fact, a lot of women have been told that they were getting an abortion, and all they did was make them think they got an abortion and charge them $1,000 or $1,500, $2,000 to kill a baby that didn't even exist inside of them.
I mean, that's almost comical. At least nobody was harmed in that scam, except for the duped out woman.
Well, but if that woman actually thought that she killed the baby inside of her, what if she commits suicide later? Or what if she goes back to the guy and says, you jerk, you weren't ready to be the father of our child, so I killed it. Then he walks around feeling bad that his baby got killed and so forth and so forth and so forth.
Yes, I didn't even take that pain into account.
And there's some people that actually like getting abortions. It's weird.
What, they use it as a form of birth control?
Not just a form of birth control. Some people are interested in sacrificing babies. There are people who kill babies. It's cool. I've seen folk get abortions. Well, not so much seen, but known of people to get multiples. 3, 4, 5, 6. I know one person that had 6 or 7 of his children aborted.
How could you do that as a human being? I mean, all bullshit aside, how?
What do you mean? How you do it? He did it. No, just do it, as they say in Nike. It's not the thing. Just do it. Just kill it.
These are still human beings. Even the people who are participating should be ashamed of themselves. The doctors, the nurse.
And you're speaking of Atlanta. Who's the big pastor down there now? Jamal Bryant, the one with the question mark shaped penis, who wanted to get his woman.
Question mark shaped penis? What the hell?
I haven't seen it, but people talk about it. I don't care. I don't want to see it, but it looks like it's a question mark.
Oh my God! So
I wonder what direction it fired.
This guy. So this preacher man, he's the spiritual leader of that flock in Atlanta.
He got Eddie Long's church, remember?
Oh no. No.
He was the one in Baltimore, the famous preacher, and he wanted to get his mistress to kill the baby. And she didn't want to kill the baby, and she exposed him, so he's now down in Atlanta. He's both an AME pastor and a Baptist pastor. Maybe they're going to make him a bishop.
No, this is why church leaders, if you hear me, this is why if you don't stand up for what the righteousness of your particular doctrine, you do what the Catholics do, because don't forget, black folks, you're not as strong as the Catholics. You can't just move these people around like that. We're too small of a community. All you're doing is cutting your own throats. Ain't nobody gonna go to your dead ass churches, especially with these sexual predators and freaks leading the damn show.
Well, I think our people kind of like it, man. I've grown to accept it, that there's a wickedness in our community. We like it. You know, with a song by DeBarge, ooh, and I like it. Right?
Well, I'm for one, brother, do not like it, doctor. And I know there's a bunch of other brothers and sisters out here as well. We don't like it collectively.
Oh, I just think you're trying to be different. Stop. Just give into it, man. Come on, man.
No, we stand for life and prosperity. We stand for children, we stand for family, and we stand for community.
Well, my brother, that's you. I think that a lot of our people have come to like this kind of stuff, and they're going to keep doing it. They're comfortable with it. And there's some of us that are not there, that want something different. And in reality, those that want different, that have a vision of things being at least more sane, have to stick together. And those that get purged or separated will get separated from us.
You know,
that's like I said, I don't want this to necessarily be, but I kind of see this is what we're going to get.
Yes.
This is what these people would give for us. They're people who will not rest unless they get to molest the children. Like, I need you to interview my friend and have you talk to this lady who got thrown in jail for 7 years for nothing.
You're talking about Dorothy Gaines or another one?
Yeah. You got to have her. You got to have talk about what this means, because a lot of people don't hear it from me. I've never been locked up. I've been detained a few times, but never arrested. And I should say, not arrested in the sense that someone handcuffed me.
You know, this is a little bit off topic, but this is a very important question from the chat room. This is from Brother Nass. Neil deGrasse Tyson said recently on Twitter, "The universe is blind to our sorrow and indifferent to our pains." Could Dr. Short speak on the atheism and nihilism in modern day Black academia?
Just a little bit. When I'm not an atheist, I can understand why people, if in fact there are a lot of people like, say, the Black activist by the name of Philip Randolph, whose father was a pastor and he became like an atheist agnostic. A lot of people have seen, I'm just going to speak to the church, and I'm limited to Christianity. I don't need to talk about anybody else. They've seen a lot of fake religion, false religion, and by people who claim to be for real.
Right.
And they've reached the conclusion that these people are phony, and they righteously reject religion, but they stupidly reject faith. They're genuine people. Even if I don't agree with their religion, I've met true people who want to practice the Buddhism, true people who want to practice their Christian thing. They're really doing what they're supposed to do. People have a right to believe in something. Of course, I know what I believe, and I believe I've got the right thing. But I've seen people react to all religions based on a negative experience, right? And they therefore dismiss it all without proving it. In fact, these same atheists or nihilists, whatever you want to call them, they believe in Darwin. But explain Darwin theory. These people, Nietzsche and all these other people, Nietzsche, a homosexual that died from syphilis, a lot of these people who they point to, that they look to for inspiration, Carnegie, Dale Carnegie, how to influence people. These people commit suicide or their lives are awful.
Yes.
So when I look at it and say, well, people need to, they go from the frying pan into the fire, rejecting all belief in anything, and to going into nothing, but there's no such way as to not believe in anything.
Right.
It's impossible. You're going to believe and have faith in something. Even if it's in yourself, then you become the God. The other thing that's going on in our community is at the universities, atheism and Darwinism and evolutionism. Evolution doesn't make any sense either. These are things that are pushed, and Black people are institutionally bankrupt. We don't have strong, powerful, sovereign institutions.
True.
Which means if you're a good believer and you go to school and all your teachers are atheists, all your teachers are Marxists, who also are atheists, and you're a Black kid that needs to get your degree and you need grades, as I've had a teacher tell me to my face, you're too smart to be a Christian, and you're being lazy. Now, I have a straight A in his class, and he's attacking my religious beliefs. You should be happy that I have A's, idiot.
Yes.
Right. But for him, the A wasn't good enough because you believe in the Bible, so you're really not as smart as you could be.
Wow.
As he said to me, Dr. Alexander, that's holding you back.
Well, Christianity is a restraining force. It holds demonic.
Yeah, but for him, if now, it would be one thing if I was a lazy student. I've had some stupid, fake Christian students who would do stuff like, I didn't study for this exam, but God's going to get me through. They wrote that down. And I wrote a note, well, we don't have the same God. You failed.
Wow.
Now, I could see if I was a stupid person, but if I'm a bright person and my belief doesn't get in the way of my schoolwork or my intellectual production, what problem do you have with it?
Well, if I'm a Satanist, I want you to go to hell like I'm going to hell, and that will be the problem. Is the fact that you still have faith in the one true God.
So this guy told me that he really missed it. He really enjoyed church, but he had to give it up. And what he said to me in so many words is, if you're going to make it in higher education, you need to let go of this dumb church stuff you're on.
Wow.
You're not going to get in certain things. So understand something. If the same thing occurs in the music business and everywhere else, just like the little shows you see from the 50s where the devil offers you a contract that if you sell your soul, you'll get all this stuff.
Yep.
All the people that you see, these Black atheists, and so they're funded. They're getting money because they don't believe they've taken a deal. They may not have signed a physical contract, but a spiritual one they've made. I'm going to be against the belief in God in order to receive earthly reward.
Man,
so a lot of your academics are Marxists. So they're Marxists or they are pantheists. If anything is accepted, you can even be a Muslim, but you can't be a Christian. You can be a Catholic, but you can't be and I've noticed there's an effort to remove from Black people any belief in anything.
Yes. Yes.
They're harder on us than any other group. Just don't believe anything. I had a teacher tell me this in graduate school. A Jewish teacher tell me she wanted You need to stop being a Christian. Just stop. Even if it's not bothering her. Again, I have an A in this class too. Just don't be a Christian. Period.
Wow.
Quit.
Wow. Satan's at work.
No. I mean, so what? I'm a nice person. None of that was good enough.
Nope. Don't matter.
But ultimately, your belief system is something I can't work with. Yeah. And so if you go in the record business, you will never hear, well, you sort of hear it now, but not often. You used to hear every now and then a pop artist like, say, Donna Summer, who's no longer with us, will all of a sudden come out and tell you that she's a Christian, she believes in God.
Now, why?
And what happened to Donna Summer after she came out and became a Christian? She stopped having hit records.
Well, what does that tell us, Doctor?
So what means is in the music business, who runs the music business? And if you look at people like Elton John, who has a movie out now, Elton John has a little bisexual or gay writing partner named Bernie Taupin. Bernie Taupin will, if you look him up, he does pseudographia. He claims that there's a spirit that writes the lyrics for the songs that Elton John and him made famous.
Wow.
If you look at the Rolling Stones, they're Luciferians.
Yes.
You look at the Eagles, they're Luciferians.
Yes.
The people who have these long, sustained careers, they have hit after hit after hit, sold their souls or believe in Lucifer. You ask yourself why someone like Stevie Wonder hasn't had a real major hit in 20 years. As good as he is, he can still sing and play.
Man.
Does he fill stadiums? Gladys Knight, these people who are halfway from the church type, although she's a Mormon now, these people don't get hits anymore. But these folks who serve the devil, who let you know they're Luciferian, and they have the devil symbols and everything. Take someone like Rihanna who can't sing. Mm-hmm. How could she have more number one hits than Whitney Houston?
Because her hits are inspired by the anti-divinity of Satan. That's why
Rihanna has more hits than Whitney Houston? I can line them up, a black race. She has more number one hits than Aretha Franklin. We can go on. And Rihanna, who does the little satanic videos with Jay-Z, where she has her body contorted, where she looks like the devil, Baphomet.
Right, and yeah.
So there is a reward to reject belief. There's a reward for you to be against God.
Yes.
And these people take it. It's a choice.
Yes.
So a lot of black folks who feel we're so deprived, black folks are so damn ungrateful. Black folks can't be grateful for anything. If it's a black woman with a good black man, he ain't good enough. If it's a black man with a good black woman, she ain't good enough. If you got smart kids, they ain't good enough. If you got a good job, you don't have a great job. If you got a business, it's not the biggest business. We're very ungrateful people. There's nothing that we're thankful for, and there's never enough. And into that greed, this insatiability, we always want something, and it means we're always for sale, and we usually sell out cheaply. So we're cheap. And these folks understand, who are Luciferian, that you can only sell your soul once. And if you betray your own soul, let's say this stuff is true in these Bibles and other books, that there is a heaven and there is a hell, and that you have a life after this life, right?
Right.
And if you mess up this one, you spend eternity in hell. By the way, let me just share with you, all the little idiots who make these kind of deals, if the soul doesn't exist, or should I say there's no afterlife, you don't have a soul.
Right.
If you don't have a soul,
you have nothing to sell to the people that don't want you to believe.
Exactly.
So how can you sell something that they say doesn't exist? Why would they say, sell me something that doesn't exist if it doesn't exist?
Exactly.
And if there's something that's intangible, that's spiritual, and they tell you discount it, it's not important, but you can sell it to me. That sounds like some kind of a scam.
It is spiritual scam.
And by the way, we're seeing every now and then what's going up with unbelief in our community. Suicide, even among children, young children killing themselves. We all got bullied in school.
Yeah.
You got called white boy and faggot. Run home and people jump you. I never thought about killing myself.
Thought about killing them.
We got folks killing themselves. I can assure you, these kids killing themselves come from homes with their weak religious beliefs in the family or non-existent.
Right.
Alongside the suicide, with this unbelief, we've got divorce, LGBTQ, baby killing, drug addiction, legal and over-the-counter prescribed drug addiction.
Yes.
We've got all these problems. Our community is beset in unbelief. And so everybody that's unhappy about what you see, that's the fruit of not being connected to the Creator. You got folks with land. I've met about 7 or 8 black folks with land in the last few months. Hundreds of acres. They're not growing a damn acorn on it. And we got hungry people. Why would you have all of this and not do anything with it?
Man, that's evil. That's because you hate humanity. You hate people.
Or even if you never thought about it, what are you sitting on all this for? You don't want it? Or actually you want it, but it's just sitting there? You didn't think to do anything with it? It is evil.
Yes.
We've got black folks with enough vacant land in the South that they won't even use to grow food to feed ourselves instead of begging these other people for welfare, for star cards.
Well,
so with the growth of this unbelief and there's no need for God, we have all this confusion. We have all these trannies, trans women, trans men. Something else we have with unbelief. We have this despicable music that's awful, despicable art. We've become almost the purveyors of filth globally as a people. We're associated with porn and confusion. This is what we've become. So I don't see any good that comes from these people that don't believe in anything. I don't see a school. I don't see an institution. I don't see a genre of music. I don't see anything. You think about black people creating and producing in this country. None of it comes from people that don't believe in anything.
Right.
In fact, you know what? Part of being an atheist for me as a black person is a type of a coon. Why? Because they can get with white people that are atheists, and we're always looking for ways to cross over and to be accepted by other people. It's the same way a lot of black folks are into gayness as a way to escape being black. A lot of atheists, show me a black atheist, and there's some kind of a coon typically, if not most all.
Damn.
You're a coon. You're a coon. Why? Because the black people are called spooks. We're integral with spirituality and with some belief in the divine. You're saying you want no connection to from whence you come from, which is black. You're a coon by definition if you're an atheist or an agnostic.
Wow. Never even looked at it in that perspective.
In fact, the worst kind of coon, when these atheists and agnostics see the corruption and the perversion in the church, what do? You throw your hands up in the air and say, well, all religion's bad, all the institutions bad, even the people in it are bad, unless they come and join your little stupid cult of a few. Well, we have all these anti-church, anti-belief cultural nationalists. We've had them for 50 years. Show me something they produced. Show me one thing that we have to show for this. So if they see all these problems in the church, and if the church is the center of a power or authority in our community, unfortunately, I wish that wasn't the only thing. Why wouldn't you be fighting for the heart, mind, and soul of it? Let me tell you why they won't. Because there are two types of atheists. There are atheists that are open, that don't go to church, that don't have any religious affiliation. And then the other group of atheists are the cool preachers, evangelists, bishops, pastors, apostles. Take one to know one. The atheists and agnostics outside the church, the only difference between them is that they don't hang out in buildings with spires and stained glass. The ones inside, they're just like them.
Damn. That's just so. In other words, they'll allow black folks in the church to do bad things, and then they'll just say the whole church should be disbanded, and then they'll say,
No. Let me give you a better example.
All right.
I know some atheists. They're black activist type atheists. They hate the church, but whenever they want to do something, anywhere, meeting community, you know where they go?
The church.
They go to a church. And they get stuff from the people, and then they curse out and they have contempt for the people that help them. What kind of spirit is that? If I hated you that much, I wouldn't want to have anything in your building. Atheists worship themselves. Atheists believe that they are God.
Right.
So I want all the atheists listening to this, if they have a heart attack or stroke or an aneurysm, pray to yourself and see if it changes things.
So James Baldwin was an atheist?
I don't think so.
Because I got it pulled up, black atheist, and there's a picture of him. I thought he was just a homosexual. But
James Baldwin, hold on. He's a good example of what I'm talking about. James Baldwin was the victim of pedophilia.
Oh, wow.
This is why I talk about it all the time. And I hate pedophilia, and I do what little I can to say no to it. These children, boys and girls, violated by crooked, perverted, nasty Luciferian.
Hold on, something's happening with the sound here. Hold on. Now try it. It should be better.
The pervert, nasty, Luciferian people in the churches and other places that molest our black boys and girls create the kind of collateral damage that's very hard to undo. Poor James Baldwin, whoever molested him, if it was his birth father, and then the stepfather that the mother brought in, I don't know if that father did something to him or the first father did something to him. But James Baldwin, like a lot of our young black boys, get abused sexually. And then the hypocrisy that they encounter in the church and other places is that folks look down and hate them for being same-sex attracted or misdirected. Don't ever go after the victimizer who's a powerful adult, because you have to deal with an adult. If an adult rapes kids, you have to deal with a grown man or woman. It's easier, because our people are cowardly and weak, to find fault in the child that manifests evidence of sexual trauma. James Baldwin was a preacher, but he left the church. And that I can understand why. If the same church that you got molested in mocked you for being molested, told you something was wrong with you and God didn't like you, and yet they give their money and celebrate the person that did that to you.
Wow.
Sylvester, the disco king, raped by the church organist in the Church of God in Christ. We have thousands of people raped and molested by the predators in these places. Well, where is God for them if the so-called people of God turn their back on these victims of sexual abuse?
Wow.
Right? Who helps them? So I wouldn't believe in God if all these so-called holy people couldn't see that someone took me, they hurt me, they violated me, they ripped me, they ruined me. And everyone knows, so I'm scandalized. How can you believe in that? That's why this is such a serious crime.
Yes.
It's against the soul of that child. That because it's hard for people to recover from that. That's why it's done. And that's why people should get the death penalty for raping a child. So James Baldwin, like many other people, get hurt in this way. And it shouldn't happen. And that's why you hear me speaking out against it. I don't want that person so wounded, so destroyed, until they won't even reach out to their creator because they don't think their creator wants them or cares for them or could care because of what's been done to them.
I mean,
we should want better. First of all, we shouldn't want this kind of epidemic in our community. We should be willing to punish anyone that would do this to a child with their life being taken. Our children should be safe. So to me, in fact, that would be the power of God for Black people to finally start dealing with the sex predators in our community. We can talk about the white man. Let's talk about the Black man and woman that molest children.
Damn. I mean, does that go back to the whole slave mentality that we're nothing and we can be messed with no consequences? Does it go
I can't hear you.
Does that go back to the whole philosophy that like Black folks are basically nothing? We have no power. We can be messed with without consequences happening to us, and people know it. Even our own know it. So therefore, they prey on us because they ain't gonna go out and prey on Mr. Bill Gates' kid. They ain't gonna go out and prey on Mr. Rothschild's child. They're not gonna go out and prey on Mr. Trump's kid, but they'll do the Williams kid, the Jackson's kid, well, there was a Black family named Huxtable, them kids. So is it just like a form of self-hate and control?
Well, I'm not limited to self-hate. We've got an issue going back to this issue of unbelief. If you look at Leviticus 18 and 19, what was laid out, not Leviticus, but Genesis 18 and 19. And Leviticus 18 and 19. Yes, when you talk about Sodom and Gomorrah, but also when you get to Leviticus 18 and 19, it's laid out before the people of Israel, the Black Hebrews, why God was letting them possess the land, and the kinds of things that God hated that made people eligible for genocide. One of those things was pedophilia, molesting kids. God really don't do that. That's right there in the Word. In fact, you'll find most of your gay intellectual activists and your atheists, they don't like Leviticus 18 and 19. They can't stand that.
Because it indicts their wicked behavior?
It puts a limit on people storing the kitty. It puts a death penalty on them. Not so much as it says, but it says that God was willing to see folks destroyed over this pedophilia stuff. God's not playing with it.
So what about the abortion thing? Do you think God's
abortion is listed in Leviticus 18 and 19 too? Baby killing is a part of Luciferian worship. Inasmuch as God is the creator and God makes life, then Satan will be into taking life. People need to remember the Luciferian religions all practice aborting babies.
Well, I'm going to say they use the babies in rituals, spiritual rituals.
All of these people that had these religions murdered babies. The perversion of the Old Testament is baby killing.
Man, this is so gut-wrenchingly.
So now you look at all these people fighting to kill babies.
Yes.
You know who they serve.
Man.
Baby killing is at near the top of the list.
You
don't believe me? Pick up a Bible and read what it says.
Well, see, Doctor, many of us, they make up all the excuses in the world. Don't have time to read there, Doc. I'm too busy working, Doctor. I got to go to church, Doctor. You know, or whatever the case is, to actually read it for yourself. And
I don't think they need to go to church as much as they need to read their Bible.
Well, they will argue tooth and nail on that.
Actually read the thing. Take some time to read it. You see, they spend so much time in church they don't learn about the religion. After all, you really can't learn much if you're in one of those little cool churches where they're always screaming. And you need to be in a 15-hour service by a bunch of hypocrites sit for like 15 hours. And that's praising God, being bored, sitting around liars.
You know, there's a question that popped up in the chat room. It goes basically like this. There's certain black folks out here that suggest that we are the actual Israelites spoken of, or the Jews in the old days. And the chatter wrote, YouTubers say the other day, for all black people that claim we were the Jews of Bible days, they that who created all this evil plus killing Jesus, what y'all thinking? I mean,
no, black folks, if they're the original Hebrews, which there's some evidence that they're connected. Look, all you need to do is go to the Acts of the Apostles, Acts 9, where Philip is with the head of the treasury for the Queen of Ethiopia. Dude was a Jew from Ethiopia 2,000 years ago visiting Israel. Sit down and think about that. If you had a Jewish population that was influential in Ethiopia 2,000 years ago, how many more people would be of Jewish descent now?
Right.
Millions.
You know,
okay. Now, anyone that will tell you the history of Africa will tell you the people went from east to west. What's at the very east end of the Sahel?
It is Egypt, and Ethiopia, and then you're gonna have Somalia. And
let me explain it. Sudan, which is ancient Ethiopia of Kush. At the other end is Senegal. And people move back and forth across the Sahel. Many black people are descendants of these Semitic Africans. Many. I'm one of them. And my family. And the Jewish people were scattered when the Romans destroyed Jerusalem around 70, 75 AD.
Right. They ran south, didn't they? Then they run south into...
You only need to go to, again, the Acts of the Apostles and look at how Peter and John were being attacked by the Jews from the Freedmen Synagogue in Jerusalem, where the people were from Africa. Some of them were from Turkey, some of them were from Africa. They're from Cyrenaica, that's eastern Libya. The man that carried the cross for Jesus was a man from Cyrenaica. He's from Africa. What are these Africans doing in Israel? Or should I say, Israel is part of Africa, but again, if you let white people dictate geography to you, then Israel is in Asia. But think about it. Japan is thousands of miles away from Israel. Right?
Right.
China is thousands of miles away from Israel. Indonesia is thousands of miles away from Israel. India is 1,000 miles plus from Israel. And you mean to tell me the minute a person steps from Sinai into Gaza, he goes from Africa into Asia. And yet, Turkey's called Asia Minor. Wait a minute, let's do this again. Turkey is Asia Minor, and it used to be seen as part of Asia, right? In the book of Revelations, they have the 7 churches of Asia. They're all in Turkey. Why wouldn't Jerusalem be a church of Asia? Because it's not Asia. The whole concept of the Middle East is less than 110 years old. That's Africa.
Wow. So where is
if you need to make the Middle East Asia, which is what the same people who tell you you're subhuman and that you're a monkey but you can wear clothes and drive a car, they're the same people that tell you that Israel is Asia. I will repeat this. Any person that knows about historical geography, there's a part of the great African Rift Valley that goes all the way up from Africa. It cuts into the Red Sea, and it connects. Now, Syria, or should I say Israel, is in what's called the Syro-African Valley. Spell it out, Syro-African Valley. Anybody that knows anything about Israel knows that Lebanon, Syria is to the north of modern-day Israel, right?
Right.
Then which part is Africa? It's not the Syria part. And they're the ones that call it the Syro-African Valley. Well, why is it called Africa if it's not?
Man.
Syria is seen as transitioning into Asia, but Israel is definitely a part of Africa and has always been. And African people, even at this moment, can walk. It's amazing.
So I got one question from the chat room, but also I want to add to what you were just talking about there with Israel. So when you look at the hierarchy of Israel, the state today with Netanyahu and his yoke, then you kind of see like a genetic disconnect from the people that you were talking about. Now, from the chat room, they want to ask me to ask you, are you a man of Pi, Beta, Sigma?
I don't believe in joining fraternities and sororities. No.
So that was a unequivocal no. I don't know if they got that on the audio.
No. I'm not a Greek. I don't want to be a Greek.
There it is. And he has said that before on the show many times. He's anti-Masonry, anti-Luciferian, anti-Greek. And I would say the anti-F word, but that would definitely get us banned and blocked because we cannot talk against the chosen people of the United States of America, which are the gay, lesbians, transgender, animal lovers, pedophile, kid rapers, all those people. Because of the equality bill, they are special citizens, unlike you and me.
Now, there's another thing I want to. This audio is really awful today.
I know. Hold on. Let me try to grab my phone and see if I can't call you on it. Because I know I've been having audio issues here. It's trying. Just give me one moment and I'll grab my phone. I'm calling you right now, doctor. It should hopefully be better. Hold on. Is that better?
I hope so.
I hope so too. It sounds better already from this side. I don't know about the chat room. Chat room, is that better? Can you hear him? Any difference? I know there's no feedback. That's actually good, I believe. Testing 1, 2, 3. All right. So basically, what we were saying before the audio situation was that the doctor's not a Greek. He's. Uh-oh. Hold on. Let me end it over there. All right. I got you back. All right. Now they're saying we're clear, so I guess it's a lot better.
The person asked the question, very simple, about black folks. If we're the Hebrews that the Bible talks about, then we are the folks that killed Jesus. We are the hard-headed folks that couldn't get it right. In fact, I see that behavior every day. We fit hard-headed, stubborn, hard-hearted, won't work together. Everything that you and I can't stand about black people, I see manifested by the people described in the Bible. There's nobody else like, I've had black folks, like, let's say you wanted to do something to help you, had someone black just block you for no particular reason. They just didn't want you to do something good. If we claim the Hebrews, and we have to claim we're the ones that killed Jesus, we're the idiots, we're the ones that the blessing, and we blew it. We killed the prophets the same way black people turn their back on our strong. The same way that we don't work with the right people in our community, it's the same behavior you see in the Bible. The good people try to save, and they, for a short period of time, they're able to make an impact. But the wickedness of the people, the hard-heartedness of the people's determination to be queens. I'm talking about gay and lesbian and kill babies and be like the very people that hate their guts means more to them than being righteous people that God cared about. That's us. We are those Hebrews. We do fit that behavior. We see it every day. And yeah, we killed Jesus. If we have to take the whole package. We were the humble people, the arrogant, unbelieving, selfish, backstabbing, fake religious people who didn't do it, who can forget the miracles of Christ as fast as they're done, sell them out for a fish sandwich or for practically no money at all. I see that behavior every day. We certainly fit. If you want to talk about the behavior, that group. Stiff-necked, hard-headed. And there's a passage that talks about the people being put in slavery for 400 years and sent off in boats. I don't know of another group of people that was sent off in boats and enslaved for 400 years. And I do know all over Africa, there are people who are descendants of ancient Jews. Practically none of the people like Netanyahu have any ancient Hebrew DNA, practically none. They know it. It's already been proven that these people are not it. And in fact, there's a move in this country now among Khazars to block discussions over the actual genetic heritage of Jews. It's now described, if you're trying to claim to be Jewish and you're not white, that's an act of anti-Semitism. Right. Claiming it is anti-Semitism.
So would that explain why Africans or Kemetics, or however you want to say, was able to sell us off to the Europeans as slaves anyhow, because we weren't the same people to begin with?
Well, think of it this way. You've got the Fulani. You've heard of the Fulani. They're now Muslim now, but the Fulani are sort of outcasts all over Africa wherever they are. There's a huge number of people Fulani descend in this country, myself included. They were a group that was sent off. These are people who wandered. Remember wandering Jews? Wandering Fulani? They moved for all the countries in about 17, 18 countries in Africa, but they're not the numeric majority in any country.
Right.
They're hated wherever they are, and then they do stuff, and they got all kinds of issues. And the Hausa Fulani, they're a Semitic African group, and they move all over.
Wow.
And the Fulani have a connection to the Jews. This is known. So those little teeny tiny people with the bagels, pale skin, and the ugly black hats to me, all that. Okay, fine. I've always thought that was weird. This kind of thing is real. The stuff from the Bible? No. European culture. Those are not the real ones. They know they're not the real ones. And by the way, anyone can go look them up. The most Jewish people in the world, DNA-wise, the most connected to the people in the Bible are the people that live in southeastern Zambia, aka South Africa, called the Limba people. By the way, I got DNA that comes from southeast South Africa too.
Wow.
How do you like that? So, a lot of us are somehow connected to this thing, and these people who are Khazars are not the actual Jews. They know it, and now there's a consensus among many people in Israel, not in America, because one, we've got a lot of stupid coon Christian blacks who are running to eat the feces out of the hind parts of racist Christian Zionists. They pretend that the same Jews that are involved in human trafficking and organ smuggling, that these are the real blessed people that the Bible talks about, and that's not the case. Okay?
Right.
So what happened to those Jews? And if you read it, Jesus said people will be dispersed. Jesus in Luke 21 said that people would be dispersed. When he marched to the cross, he told people to run, and it would be bad for a woman that's pregnant when the Romans and whoever came for.
Right.
Think about it. Our people have been hunted and stalked, and pregnant women killed and then killed. Our story lines up with what Jesus was talking about. And who else got put on a boat and held in captivity 400 years? And look at how people have reacted to this 400-year anniversary. How all of this LGBTQ and abortion stuff has jumped to the fore. It's interesting. The 400 years that they say we've been here, huh? All of a sudden, this constant LGBTQ and constant baby killing.
Right.
Like you've never seen. Who are they trying to rip off? You look at it, they're trying to rip off the movement of black people. They got that vote for the Equality Act on the 65th anniversary. off speaker. That's getting to me.
Wow.
So I took my phone. It's off speaker. What I want to say to you is that these people are not the chosen people. They can't be, because anybody that knows geography knows that Khazaria is hundreds of miles away from Jerusalem.
Oh, getting low.
Those people they're not. These are not it. I'm sorry, I'm not trying to pick on nobody. I didn't know. But I always thought it was so interesting that Adolf Hitler, as racist as he was, said that the real Jews are black. How come Hitler knows that?
Well, from their perspective, he was speaking the truth. He said that he talked about the global Jewish banking cabal at that time.
Yeah, well, not that I want to sanctify Hitler. What I want to say to you is that people know that these Khazars are not it. However, it facilitates the racism of white folks to claim Jesus. And remember, the image of Jesus as a white man is relatively new.
Yes.
And it's not universal. Mary was dark, Jesus was dark, the apostles were dark, and then the Catholic Church, which decided to go to war with a dark religion, or darker religion called Islam. If you want to weaponize people and skin color as a means to organize people to fight, then they changed the whole image. In fact, there was some effort, because the people who are white-skinned used to be called barbarians. Now, let me do this real fast. There is a word. It's a tribe of people called Anglos, where you get the word Anglo. When the first Anglos were taken to the Pope, they were called Anglos. But one of the little strange Romans, probably a little predator Pope in there, said that they're not Anglos, they're angels. He was in the light skin and light hair. But that came from the Pope. You know, the Pope speaks for God. So when they took these barbarian white folks in, I mean, the guy liked the white look. Like, you go to Africa, and I've met Africans, they just love light skin. They see dark skin every day. Nice looking dark skin with Peter, it means nothing. That's a dime a dozen. But if they can get with a pale looking, Britney Spears, they feel like they got something different.
Yeah, I mean, so you're talking about that's going on today, or that was going on back in the day.
I'm saying to you that it wasn't, even then there was a point where pale skin was seen as a sign of not being civilized. How do you like that? Because the barbarians that the Romans fought were the Germans, right? Caesar was killing white people, doing genocide on white people. Caesar's doing genocide on English people and Celtic people. He's doing genocide on people lighter skinned than him.
Right.
There's Barbaroi, the barbarians, Cis Alpine. This is a word called Cis Alpine Gaul. This means Gauls on the other side of the Alps. And the Romans out Swiss. The people of the Swiss.
Your mic's low. The microphone on your side's low. I didn't know if you changed.
No, I didn't do anything. We're going to work on the sound system, brother, because I can't yell and scream and get on my muscles' nerves.
Yeah, I'm trying the best to upgrade the material, or not the material, the equipment over here as soon as humanly possible. I do want to appreciate you for coming on today.
Yeah, the key thing that people need to remember is one thing. We need to ask ourselves, if you look at some of these Asiatic Native Americans, who never have become in any way connected to Christianity. They, in 500 years, they've continued to have no interest in it. And I'm not telling them what they have to do and not want to do, and I understand why. Why was it so easy for our people to embrace this? Why did they understand the scriptures enough to know that it was talking about them? And why did they immediately latch onto and recognize that the stories in the Bible were about them? What would have made people do this?
And see, connection to the church.
Well, but it's deeper than that. Why did they take all this Bible stuff and connect it to who they were? Other than they felt that them being described. You look at no other group of people quite made the kind of move with the religion of their conqueror like this. Never. And turned it and used it for their own advancement.
No, actually, you'll see the reverse. Like the Greeks, the Romans, how the Romans conquered the Greeks, but the Romans adopted the Greek religion. You don't typically see the oppressed people conquering, or not conquering, but accepting the conqueror's religion.
Well, black people have been culturally dominant in this country. Just we haven't been politically and economically and militarily dominant.
Right.
But it all comes from, frankly, whatever is good and noble about our people comes from the reconnection with their Hebraic roots. And it's created all the culture in the world now is the beneficiary of this flowering. And in this country, in America, unlike any other country where they took Africans, it's just a fact. And it is a miracle, in spite of all that we know that it's awful, that for some reason, the people tapping into what they got, and that's in spite of things like here in D.C., they have a museum of the Bible where they have the slave Bible. They literally made a heretical, apostate, racist Bible to defend slavery. How do a people who don't have their own schools, who don't have practically any, find a way to short circuit the slave Bible and flip it on the person that's trying to control them with it?
Don't have spiritual.
We don't give ourselves a lot of credit for what we've been able to overcome with very little working for us, other than we had a lot working for us, and that's the Almighty. The whole effort now is to destroy and disconnect black people from Almighty God. That's all they want. Destroy God, and we got black people. I'm going to have to let you go. I've got to take this.
All right, brother.
All right, brother.
Thank you, doctor.
Thank you, doctor. All right.
Wow. Well, there you go. Hopefully you appreciate that, Brother Nass. You know, I'm sorry about the audio technical problems. All right, guys. I'm aware of this. Once again, my good microphone, this piece of shit now, is utterly useless. The Yeti microphone, utterly useless. But I'm using what I got, and I'll show it. I'm not ashamed. Shit, this is what I got to fuck around with. That's what I got. I went from this massive mic, this, to this. So that's where we're at. And you know what? I'm just going to keep on doing the thing that I can do. I'm happy. I'm thankful to the Most High to be blessed with another day to broadcast, quite frankly, with the way things are going now. Thank you, T. Thank you. You know, I try to bring stuff that you don't find nowhere else. Now, you know, sure, you can find Judge Joe Brown or Mark Frankenheim and all these other people on other shows, but you don't get it quite the way you get it on this show. Whether it be back in the day, the other morning show, which evolved to a special report, and in its latest incarnation, TPIM SR Live. I love doing these live shows. I asked you what type of mic you need. I have two for you. Man, I need anyone that can plug into a computer through a USB port. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I'm operating with. I'm just using, I don't use any type of editing software. I refuse to do that, for one. Now, I will edit pictures, but when I edit those pictures, you all see me do it. I literally open up a paint and I literally do it right in front of your face. So you guys know how I do it. But as far as the film, I want it to be one shot only. No alterations unless it's an uploaded video. Then obviously I'm mixing it up there. But on these live shows, I like it to be live. Now, I would love to get to a point to where, because I am going to be building this summer, thank God, please bless me with more work, a shed out back. And the shed out back is going to be my studio area. All right. So then I can do some green screen. But also, though, hold on. We all need to recognize Brother Al for, I believe it was winning the shortwave radio contest in Arkansas. I mean, I knew you was doing one in Mississippi, but I think you did one in Arkansas where you actually came in first. It is very critical, guys, that we do not lose our handheld radio people. I'm telling you guys, it's going to be essential. The other day when the electricity was going out and it died during a live stream, actually, what happened to electricity never would come on. As long as I had a little generator and a handheld radio and there's brothers transmitting out there like Brother Al, I can get some news. Or at least I can, hey, man, we're over here. Nothing's happening. I don't see no troops, no bombs. You think it's a game? I'm going to leave on this note right here. Well, a couple of notes. One, construction to begin on a taller White House fence. Now, he's going to build a wall. He's going to make sure it's around his house. And two, Putin to America. Economic egoism, recipe for war. Recipe for war. The war is coming, and it's going to be a celebration. That being said, we're wrapping up TPIM SR Live. I'm your host, TruePowerIsMine. Today's date, June 7th, 2019, the year of our Lord. As always, live your life with integrity, without hate, without envy and or greed. And as always, brothers and sisters, let's try to be kinder to each other. Peace and power.